Violent video games. They're a daily pastime for millions of people around the world. It's also a multi-billion-dollar industry and a consistently polarizing social issue. Last Wednesday, violent video games were the focus of the Georgia College Times Talk, held on the second floor of the LITC. Professor of Mass Communication Payton McMichael hosted the event, where he and roughly 60 students and staff members discussed a range of topics related to video game violence.
I teach a lot of our journalism and writing classes, but also teach law, which is why this Times Talk was so relevant to me, because I teach the First Amendment and what it represents and where it stands as far as what the government can and cannot do when it comes to regulating speech.
I wouldn't hurt another human being, but then there's certain people that are psycho that'll shoot up a school, and you don't want them playing those games.
It's interesting you say that, because something that has been overlooked is that there are a number of studies that point out there are specific types of personalities that have been measured by psychologists, and that in some studies, again, no study is the law of the land, but that has shown that there are certain types of personalities where people do become more aggressive.
Making a video game is a legal endeavor that is protected by the First Amendment. The question that we're kind of posing today is, can the government in any way regulate that art form in a way that's not stepping on your First Amendment rights?
What the video games do is they put you into a certain headspace, and some people are capable of going in and coming out of that headspace depending on other influential factors. So if you enter that headspace, you're automatically going into a mental state where you're desensitized to general violence.
It's an outlet, absolutely, but you can't get that effect, at least I can't, from like a racing game or a role-play game or something else. It's got to be kicking someone's butt or shooting somebody, you know, kind of let out some of that negative emotion while doing that. But I know better not to go pick a fight with somebody or do that in real life, though.
I think for a lot of people, these are serious issues, but maybe there's a coolness factor where you don't want to have this discussion with your buddies on a Friday night when you're trying to relax. So having these types of moments where students can engage with a quality newspaper like the New York Times and take on a serious issue and express themselves, whether in an environment where they're not going to be judged on a coolness scale or, you know, you're a party pooper if you talk politics. This is a place where you can talk politics, you can talk about controversial ideas, which to me is what the First Amendment was all about in the first place. So that's why I continue to do it every semester.
I think it's really good for students, at least, to actually get out and talk about things like this in an academic setting. I think it gives more understanding whenever they can actually converse about it instead of just the common misconceptions that they can create from the media.
The recent tragedies in Newton, Connecticut and Aurora, Colorado were at the forefront of the discussion Wednesday, leading students to question whether a balance could be found between public safety and individual freedom.
Every time this happens, it's a very shameful thing, guys, to have this happen in a country as free as ours, to see that happen and to go, wow, again and again and again. I mean, we're not the only country that has this murder rates and crime, but to just have school shooting after school shooting after school shooting, to a lot of people, including me, you know, I think, wow, why here? Why does that happen here so often compared to maybe other countries that are similar to ours?
The hour-long session ended with many students and faculty members choosing to stay and continue their discussion for another 20 minutes. The event was a powerful start to this semester's Times Talk series. For GC360 News, I'm Ross Bailey.